Hello everyone, myself is Dr. Binkesh Uttaria, working as an assistant professor at Department of Chemistry, Bhavans College, Dakor. So today we are going to learn a new topic, that is stereochemistry. Stereochemistry, it is important topic as far as the organic chemistry point of view. Okay, so you should know the basic fundamental knowledge. You should have a basic fundamental knowledge of stereochemistry for the organic chemistry. So first of all, let us understand what is stereochemistry and why we require to study stereochemistry. So as we know, what is isomer? So from our definition, we can say that the chemical formula are same, but the structural formula are different, then it is known as isomer. So now what is stereoisomer? Okay, now what is stereoisomer? So stereoisomer that has the same bond connectivity. Okay, the bond connectivity will be same bond connectivity, but different arrangement in the space, then it is known as stereoisomer. Okay, different arrangement in space, then it is known as stereoisomers. So that is the basic difference between the isomer and stereoisomer. Isomers means chemical formula and structural formula. Chemical formula are same, but structural formula are different. Okay, suppose when we are doing a reaction with C12H22O11, that is the formula of sugar. Now it will give you C6H12O6 C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. Okay, both the chemical formula are same, but their arrangement, okay, their structural formula are different. One is glucose and another one is fructose. Okay, so that is the isomer. Now when we are talking about the stereoisomer, the same bond connectivity but different arrangement in the space, then it is known as stereoisomers. So what is the classification of stereoisomers, or how many stereoisomers are there? So let us understand that first, that is stereoisomers. Okay, mainly we are having three types of stereoisomers. Okay, first one, that is the configurational isomers. Okay, configurational stereoisomers. Second one, that is the geometrical isomers. And third one, that is conformers. Okay, or we can say that conformational isomerism. Okay, conformational isomerism. Okay, so now what is the configuration isomers? So configuration isomers that has the minimum a chiral center. Okay, later we will talk about the chiral center. So chiral center, only they are having a chiral center, then it is known as configurational isomers. Now what is geometrical isomers? The configurational isomerism due to the restricted rotation around the double bond. Okay, so that is specially for the restricted rotation around the double bond, then it is known as geometrical isomerism. Okay, in which we will be studying about the cis and trans. Okay, now cis and trans, they will be classified into E and Z configuration. Cis means Z and trans means E. Okay, then after the last one, that is the conformational isomerism. Now this conformational isomerism is due to the free rotation around the single bond. Okay, that is the free rotation around the single bond. Okay, mainly we will focus about the cyclohexane or normal butane conformational isomerism. They are not having any chirality but chiral center, yet they are showing stereoisomerism. It is due to the free rotation around the single bond. Okay, so this is the basic classification you should know. Configurational isomerism that has the chiral center, geometrical isomerism, that is the restricted rotation around the double bond. Mainly we are focusing about the cis and trans, that is the E and Z isomerism. Conformational isomerism, that is the free rotation around the single bond. Okay, that is the N-butane or cyclohexane. Okay, so now after this study, now what is the chiral center? or what is the chirality? Okay, what is the chirality or chiral center or stereo center? Okay, so now let us understand, or what we can say, what is chiral carbon. Okay, now chiral carbon, the carbon which is attaching with the four different atom or four different functional group, then it is known as chiral carbon. Let's say, suppose these are the two group, one group that is above the plane, okay, and another one that is the below the plane. Now if these four different types of group, okay, let's say OH, NH2, here we are having CH3, here we are having a C2H5. Okay, now if the carbon is attaching with the four different atoms or four different functional group, then it is known as chiral carbon. Now this carbon, it is chiral carbon. Okay, it is attaching with the four different functional group, that is OH, NH2, CH3 and C2H5. Okay, now these two, okay, normal lines, they are in the plane. Okay, they are lies in the plane, but this line that is above the plane, okay, it is above the plane, and this will be the below the plane. Okay, in my next lecture we will be focusing about the live model presentation, in which I will explain you all this thing. But as far as the theory point of view, we will be focusing on theory. Then after we will show the live model, how we can design chiral center, stereoisomerism and all that thing. Okay, till then you can remember this thing: normal line that is in the plane, this is the dark line that is above the plane, this will be the below the plane. Now what will happen if we take the mirror image of this one? Okay, let's say this is the mirror image of this one. So what will happen? So here we can say that is the C2H5, here we are having CH3 group. Now this is having OH group, and this will be having NH2 group. Okay, now imagine that if I put this compound onto this compound, what will happen? Okay, so at that time OH and OH will not match. Okay, remember that if I put this compound onto this compound, what will happen? This OH and OH will not attach with each other, or will not superimpose to each other. Okay, so they are called as non-superimposable. Okay, what is called non-superimposable? Non-superimposable means they are not correct image of this one. Okay, suppose if you are slow down the right hand and left hand, if you put the mirror between right hand left hand, now if you put your left hand to the right hand, both the thumbs are not matched, then it is known as chiral. Okay, so in chirality we are having a non-superimposable characteristics. So now when I put this compound on this compound, they are non-superimposable, then it is known as a chiral carbon. Now all the chiral carbons are the optically active in nature. Okay, chiral carbon, they are non-superimposable on mirror image, they are optically active in nature. Now what is a chiral carbon? Okay, now a chiral carbon, okay, what is a chiral carbon? Now a chiral carbon which has the, what we can say, two similar type of group and two different group. Let's say we are having OH group over here, here we are having NH2 group over here, here also we are having NH2, and here we are having a CH3. Now you can see over here both are having a NH2 group, then it is known as a chiral carbon. Because three groups are differ but one group is similar to each other, then it is known as a chiral carbon. Now this chiral carbon, it is a superimposable on its mirror image. Okay, one part of this, that is will be the superimposable on its mirror image, and it is optically inactive in nature. Okay, now when I put this thing in here, so what will happen? Here I can have a CH3 group. Okay, that is the CH3 group. Here I can have a NH2 group. Here also I am having NH2 group. Here I am having OH group. When I put this compound on this compound, now these three segments will be overlapping each other. Okay, now these are having NH2 and NH2 group, both are similar and they are superimposed to each other. Now this is known as inactive in nature. Okay, so a chiral carbon that is having a superimposable characteristics and inactive in nature, whereas the chiral carbon which is having a non-superimposable characteristics and it is optically active in nature. So this is all we can say the chiral carbon and achiral carbon. Okay, so now we will study about the three important terms in the configurational isomers. Okay, now this is the most important theory part. Okay, in examination they will ask write a short note on configurational isomers. Okay, so you can remember these things. You have to remember that is the enantiomers, okay, diastereomers, and last one that is the meso compound. So you should remember the basic difference between these three terminology, that is the enantiomers, diastereomers and meso compound. Okay, so what was that? So enantiomers means the chiral compound. You should have a minimum one chiral center. Okay, so it should have a minimum one chiral center. The first condition is that it should have a non-superimposable characteristics. Okay, it should have non-superimposable characteristics. Now they are having a object mirror image. Okay, they are having a object mirror image. Then it is known as enantiomers. There are three conditions. Okay, later on we will see the structural point of view. It should have a minimum one chiral center. It should have a non-superimposable characteristics. It should have a object mirror image. Now again the diastereomers which should have a minimum one chiral center, the condition remains same. Okay, next one, the one part will be superimposable and other part will be the non-superimposable on its mirror image. Next one, it does not have a object mirror image. It does not have a object mirror image. Then it is known as a diastereomers. Okay, now what is the meso compound? So meso compound definition lies defined as a chiral carbon. Okay, a chiral compound. A chiral compound, that is the alphabetical okay, that is a chiral compound is having a plane of symmetry, then it is known as meso compound. Okay, so enantiomers, diastereomers and meso compounds. Now let us understand what is enantiomers, what is diastereomers and what is meso compound. Okay, so now let us understand. So suppose if I am having a 2,3-dibromobutane structure, let's say suppose if I am having a 2,3-dibromobutane, so this is the CH3 group, H, this is also CH3 group, Br group and Br group. So it is having a 2 bromo 3 bromo, so I can say that is a 2 bromo 3 bromo dibromobutane, 2,3-dibromobutane. Suppose if I want to calculate the stereoisomers, how I can calculate the stereoisomers? So in this type of compound you should remember that this is the one chiral center. One group differs, second group is also differs, third group is also differ, and this is the bulky group. Okay, so in earlier definition we have seen that the if compound is having a 4 different group, this is the 4 different group, then it is known as a chiral center. So similar way you can put over here. So this is the one group, second group, third group, and this is the fourth group, so which is having a 4 different group. Okay, and now this second number which is also having 1, 2, 3 and fourth group, that is a bulky group. So you can say that there are 2 chiral center. So how we can find out the stereoisomer? So stereoisomers can generally, there are also another formula when we are having a similar type of chiral center. In MSc level you can find out the different definition of stereoisomers, but in your SYBSc level you can remember this formula, that is the 2 raised to n. Okay, that n means the number of chiral center, that is a 2 raised to 2, so it will be having 4 stereoisomers. Okay, so there are 4 possibility to write down the structure of 2,3-dibromobutane. Okay, so we will now write down the 2,3-dibromobutane. So let us understand by this way. Okay, I will take a new slide. So 2,3-dibromobutane. So first of all, let us draw 2,3-dibromobutane, that is the CH3 group, and this is the CH3 group. Here hydrogen, hydrogen, Br group and Br group. Second structure will be like this, or you can put CH3 over here, Br over here, Br over here, CH3 over here, hydrogen over here, hydrogen over here. And next one, that is the CH3. Okay, now I can put over cross H, that is the HBr. Okay, H and Br both are having opposite side, that is another possibility. And the last one, that is the CH3 Br from this side, H from this side, H from this side, Br from this side. Okay, I can put down over here 1 2, and this will be 3 and 4. Okay, so in examination they will ask the question, write down the configuration isomer for 2,3-dibromobutane, or they can ask 2,3-dichlorobutane. Okay, they will ask this type of question in your examination, and they will ask you further that define enantiomers, diastereomers and meso compound for that structure. So what you have to do, you just have to write down the structure possibility of 2,3-dibromobutane. Secondly, you have to just follow the three conditions that I have told you in a previous slide, that enantiomers, diastereomers and meso compound. So let us understand first of all, that is the enantiomers. The enantiomers which should have the minimum 1 chiral center. So in this four structure, you can say that the four structure which is having a minimum 1 chiral center. So first condition is satisfied. Second condition, it should have a non-superimposable characteristics. Now imagine yourself, okay, if I put 2 number compound onto the 1 number compound, what will happen? This Br and this Br will not superimpose to the HH. Okay, this H and this H will not superimpose to the Br. Okay, both are, suppose imagine yourself, if I put two number compound onto the 1 number compound, HBr, they are non-superimposable on its mirror image. Okay, they are not superimposed, they are non-superimposable. Third condition, it should have a object mirror image. Now remember this thing, this is our object and this will our mirror image. If I put mirror over here, what will happen? You can see over here Br, 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 both are having a similar type of function group. So you can say that the enantiomers, okay, when we are talking about the enantiomers, they are pair of enantiomers. So 1 and 2, they are the pair of enantiomers. Okay, now let us understand the 3 and 4 structure. Okay, again I have put down over here the mirror. Okay, it is having a 1 minimum chiral center. Second one, it is non-superimposable on its mirror image. If I put 4 number compound on the 3 number compound, Br and H, they are not superimposed. So 3 and 4, okay, they are not non-superimposable on its mirror image. But when I take the object mirror image, this is our object and this will be our mirror. So this Br and this Br, this H and H reflect each other and reflect the same types of function group. Now then it is known as enantiomers. So here in this structure we can say that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 both are enantiomers. Clear enough? Okay, again I am repeating, minimum 1 chiral center. If I put second number compound on the 1 number compound, H and Br, they are not superimposed, they are non-superimposable. If I take object mirror image, they are having object mirror image. So they can call enantiomers. Okay, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 also enantiomers. Now when we are having a diastereomers, okay, diastereomers, what we can call as a diastereomers. So first of all, they should have a minimum 1 chiral center. Okay, if I compare this 1 number compound with 3 number compound, okay, so let us concentrate on 1 and 3. Okay, let us concentrate on 1 and 3. So what will happen? So here I am having a CH3 HBr, CH3 HBr. Now if I put 3 number compound onto the 1 number compound, what will happen? You can see over here, this is the first part, CH3 HBr, and this is also having a CH3 HBr. Both are similar. So one will be superimposed and other will be non-superimposed. Okay, so 1 and 3 they are superimposed. Okay, towards each other. One group is superimposed and another carbon is non-superimposable. So totally they are superimposable on its mirror image. Now if I take the object mirror image, what will happen? This Br reflect the H and this Br reflect Br. Okay, you should have compulsory two identical functional group for object mirror image. But here Br reflect H, here Br reflect Br. So we can say that 1 and 3 they are diastereomers in nature. Why? Because one group is superimposed and other group is non-superimposed. They are not showing perfect object mirror image like enantiomers. Now then it is known as diastereomers. So when we compare 1 and 3 they are diastereomers. Again when we compare 1 and 4, look at 1 and 4. Okay, here we are having CH3HBr, here we are having CH3HBr. So they are non-superimposable when I put 4 number compound to the 1 number compound. But these HCH3Br they are superimposable. So totally they are non-superimposable on its mirror image. But when I reflect over here, Br reflect Br, but here Br reflect H. So they are not possessing object mirror image. So now they are called as diastereomers. So we can say that the 1 and 4 they are diastereomers. Again when we compare, you can compare over here 2 and 3. Okay, and 2 and 4. Okay, so they are diastereomers in nature. Okay, you can practice 2 and 3 and 2 and 4 by yourself, so you can remember that thing. Enantiomers, it should have a minimum one chiral center. Second one, it should possess a object mirror image. Third one, it should have a non-superimposable characteristics. These three conditions should be followed for the enantiomers. Diastereomers, minimum one chiral center. It should have superimposable characteristics. They should not possess object mirror image. So they are called as diastereomers. Now the last definition is mesocompound. What is mesocompound? The mesocompound which is having a chiral compound is having a plane of symmetry, then it is known as mesocompound. Suppose if I put a mirror over here, okay, in between these two carbon, if I put the mirror over here, I can see over here H reflect H, Br reflect Br, CH3 reflect CH3. Or if I cut down this carbon and I put over here, they are completely superimposable. So the definition says that a chiral compound is having a plane of symmetry. This is our plane. Plane means sigma. Okay. Now in your TY BSc next semester you will study about the symmetry, in which we will study about the plane of symmetry. The chiral compound is having a plane of symmetry, then it is known as mesocompound. Again if I put a plane over here, okay, so Br reflect Br, H reflect H, CH3 reflect CH3. So they are called as a mesocompound. So mesocompound, they are individual called as a mesocompound, that is 1 called as a mesocompound and 2 will also call as a mesocompound. But when you compare enantiomers, they are considered as a pair of enantiomer 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, diastereomers, they should have a pair of diastereomers, that is the 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3 and 2 and 4. So this is the basic definition of enantiomers, diastereomers and mesocompound. Now in examination again and again they are repeatedly asked the question that a chiral compound is having a plane of symmetry is known as, they will ask the blank. Okay, and they will put the MCQ type of question. They will give you the option like enantiomers, diastereomers or mesocompound. Okay, again that should be a exception in mesocompound. Okay, now mesocompound. Now when we consider about the chiral compound, as we know, they are non-superimposable on its mirror image. Okay, second one, non-superimposable, they should have a object mirror image. Okay, and third one, they are having optical active characteristics. Now mesocompound, now they are having a plane of symmetry. Okay, plane of symmetry means sigma. So they are having optical inactive characteristics. Okay, They are chiral compound, but they are optically inactive. In examination, they will ask the question: a chiral compound is optically inactive, known as blank. Okay, so that is known as meso compound. One more thing you should remember, that a chiral compound, it should have a asymmetric nature. Okay, they are not completely symmetric. Symmetric means what? Fourth group are identical, or one of two groups should be identical. But asymmetric means the total four groups are different, then it is known as asymmetric. Whereas when we compare about the achiral compound, okay, what is achiral compound? So you should remember this, that is, it should have a superimposable characteristics. Okay, they are not object mirror image. Okay, they are not object mirror image, or they are optically inactive in nature. Okay, optically inactive in nature, and they should have a symmetric property. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the chiral, achiral and mesocompound. Okay, so I will give you one homework for your point of view. So write down enantiomers, diastereomers for this compound also, so you can have a better idea. Okay, that is the first compound, and now I am writing down a second compound, that is the C2H5 over here, C2H5 over here, here nitro group. Okay, here nitro group, and this is having a CH3 compound, and this is having a CH3 compound. Okay, so for this compound also 1 and 2, that will be your homework. Okay, you can write down the enantiomers, pair of enantiomers, diastereomers, and meso compound. Okay, that will be your homework. Okay, now after that we will study two different term, that is the erythro compounds and trio. Okay, what is erythro and what is trio compound? So there are so many definition in stereochemistry, so you should remember this definition also, that is the erythro compound and the trio compounds. So trio and erythro, suppose if I draw this compound like CHO, here I am having a CH2OH. Okay, now if I am drawing OH and OH from this side, okay, now this is our CHO, this is a CH2OH, OH, OH and H and H. Both are having similar chemical formula, but the structural formula and stereoisomerism is different. Okay, so now on writing a Fischer projection, this is our Fischer projection. Okay, so convert the 3-dimension structure into the 2-dimension structure, then it is known as Fischer projection. Later on we will see about the Fischer projection also. So here I am giving you definition of trio compound. On writing a Fischer projection, if two identical group, okay, on writing a Fischer projection, if two identical group are attaching opposite side of each other, then it is known as trio compounds. On writing a Fischer projection, if two similar type of function group are attaching with the same side, okay, same side, then it is known as erythro compound. Okay, now this is opposite side, this is the same side. Erythro means you can remember like this, equal, both are having a equal position, similar type of function group, both are having a different group, then it is known as trio compounds. So this is the basic difference between the trio compounds and erythro compounds. They can put also the Br nitro group or whatever the group they are given, they can give, but you should remember that on writing a Fischer group, if two similar type of group attaching with each other on different angle or different position, then it is known as trio compounds. Okay, on writing a Fischer projection, if two groups are attaching each other with the similar type of direction, then it is known as erythro compounds. Okay, so what is a Fischer projection? That we should also know the Fischer projection. Suppose if we are writing this as a Fischer projection, okay, so this is a 3-dimensional structure. This is our 3-dimensional structure. Now when we convert this 3-dimensional structure into the 2-dimensional structure, what we have to see, we just have to locate this structure. suppose this is a downward side and this is upward side, so I can put down over here. Okay, this is a 2 dimension, so this will be the downward side below the plane, so I can put over here below the plane. This will the up hand side, this will remain as the up hand side. So CH3 on the left hand side, so I can put over here CH3, so remaining part will remain as C2H5. Okay, so now convert the 3-dimensional structure into the 2-dimensional structure. This is known as Fisher projection. Okay, you can watch my video over different types of projection. First of all, you can go through this video, different type of projection, how we can convert this Fisher projection into the Newman projection, Sohars projection. Okay, then after you can have an idea about the convert the 3-dimensional structure in the 2-dimensional structure. In this you can remember this thing. This is the below the plane, I can put down over NH2. This is the above the plane, I can put down over here CH3 on left hand side, that is CH3, and this will remain as C2H5. So this is the basic idea about the stereochemistry. Now in next lecture we will study about the polarimeter experiment. Okay, now this is also one of the most important thing, polarimeter experiment, in which we will study about the optical active nature and inactive nature of any type of compound or any type of organic compound. Okay, so this is the basic thing of stereochemistry. Now I am giving you one of the important point, why we require to study a stereochemistry and how this stereochemistry is generated, or what we can say the discovery of stereochemistry. The stereochemistry is generated by the one drug that is called potassium thalamide. Okay, now this is the drug that is useful for the early morning sickness of pregnant woman. Okay, early morning sickness of the pregnant woman. Now scientists define that the potassium thalamide drug, which is useful for the woman for the early morning sickness when they are pregnant. But what happened this drug, that they have defined that they have seen that one of the isomer, plus isomer or minus isomer or D isomer or L isomer or R isomer or S isomer or capital D isomer or capital L isomer, whatever the isomers are there, but one of the isomers for this compound is useful for the woman, but another isomer of the similar type of compound is very harmful for the newborn baby or woman. Okay, so they have defined that the similar type of drug which is useful for the woman, one of the isomers, and another isomer that is not going to be very much useful for the woman, or this is very harmful for the woman. So they define as the potassium thalamide drug. Okay, the isomers, both isomers, they are not useful for the woman. Okay, one isomer that is useful for the woman and another isomer that is not useful for the woman. And they have studied that the compound, they have studied also the racemic mixture or optical active and inactive. We will study on the polarimeter based diagram, but you should remember that potassium thalamide drug which is useful for this thing. Okay, so now in next lecture I will give you one story, now how this stereochemistry was created and who was the father of the stereochemistry. The father of stereochemistry, that is the Louis Pasteur. Okay, Louis Pasteur, scientist who discovered the concept of the stereochemistry. So I will give you the brief story in my next lecture. Thank you for watching it.